If you're over 60 and feeling exhausted, if your performance in the bedroom isn't as strong as it used to be, and you worry that your best years are behind you, pay close attention. What I'm about to tell you might surprise you, but it could also change everything completely. 3 basic nuts. Yes, common nuts could be the secret to boosting your energy, reclaiming your vigor, and enhancing blood flow and endurance like you haven't experienced in years. No pills, no supplements, just real, natural foods that combat the slowdowns that come with aging. I'm Dr. Laura, and I've dedicated over 3 decades to helping men restore their strength, confidence, and masculinity. I can tell you right now that aging doesn't mean giving up. It means being smarter about how you nourish your body. Most men don't know this, but these 3 nuts support better circulation, firmer erections, and stronger hormone levels, all working with your biology. Not against it. In this video, I'll show you how they work, why they're more powerful when used together, the number 1 mistake older men make that sabotages their results, and the simple daily routine that could help you feel like yourself again, quickly. Before we start, if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos designed to help men over 60 feel stronger, more energized, and more confident every day. And if you find this video helpful, write a 1 in the comments. If not, write a 0. Your feedback helps me create content that truly supports your health and vitality. Now, let's dive in, starting with the first powerful nut that no men over 60 should ignore. This nut plays a critical role in restoring blood flow, boosting circulation, and laying the groundwork for stronger, longer-lasting performance. Let's talk about the nut that has earned the title of the king of circulation. Nut number 1. Walnuts, the king of circulation. I still remember a patient of mine, Tom, who was 68 years old and came into my office looking defeated. He said, "Doctor, it's like my body just doesn't respond anymore. I want to be with my wife, but it doesn't work like it used to." I hear that much more often than you'd think. In Tom's case, like many others, the issue wasn't just desire, it was blood flow. That's why the first nut we need to talk about is the humble walnut. It may not seem like much, but it's one of the most powerful foods you can eat to support circulation. If your circulation isn't strong, everything else crumbles: erections, energy, mental clarity. Everything starts and ends with blood flow. Walnuts are packed with L-arginine, an amino acid that helps produce nitric oxide in the body. Nitric oxide is the gas that relaxes your blood vessels and allows blood to flow more freely. When you're younger, your body produces plenty of this, but after 60, levels drop rapidly. That's where walnuts come in. They help restore that natural function, keeping your vessels open, flexible, and responsive. They're also rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation and improve cardiovascular health, to things that matter deeply to any man looking to perform at his best. I've had men tell me that after adding a small handful of walnuts each night, their energy returned in just a couple of weeks. They woke up with better morning erections, felt more alert, and had more stamina throughout the day. It's not a miracle. It's biology functioning as it should once you give it the right support. The beautiful thing is that walnuts are easy to incorporate. No pills, no prescriptions, just a natural tool your body recognizes and knows how to use. So, if you've been feeling sluggish, if your erections haven't been as firm, or if your overall drive seems low, this simple change alone could start to turn things around. But walnuts are just one part of the equation, because the next nut we're going to discover not only supports blood flow but directly enhances the strength and endurance of erections in a way that's been proven in clinical studies. You won't want to miss it. If you're still here and these ideas are resonating with you, write a 1 in the comments so I know you're with me and that this message is reaching the right men. Now, let's move on and dive into the second powerful nut that could help restore your strength and confidence. Nut number 2. Pistachios, the erection enhancer. A few years ago, I had a patient named Ricardo. He was 72 years old, generally healthy, but silently frustrated. "It's like I'm there mentally," he told me, "but physically my body isn't showing up." He had tried pills, but they left him feeling bad, dizzy, flushed, and frankly embarrassed. What he wanted was a natural solution, something that worked with his body, not against it. That's when I introduced him to pistachios. Most people think of pistachios as just a simple snack, but what they don't know is that pistachios are one of the few foods that have been clinically shown to improve erectile function naturally. In fact, in a fascinating study conducted in Turkey, men who added pistachios to their daily diet for just 3 weeks experienced significant improvements in the firmness, duration, and overall sexual satisfaction of their erections. No medications, no tricks, just real food with real impact. Pistachios are rich in arginine, just like walnuts, which helps the body increase nitric oxide production. That means better blood flow, especially to the areas where you need it most. But what sets pistachios apart is their combination of antioxidants, healthy fats, and plant sterols, nutrients that support vascular health, reduce inflammation, and even lower bad cholesterol levels. All of this translates to one thing: better performance with more confidence and less frustration. When Ricardo added a small handful of pistachios to his day, usually right after lunch, he began to notice changes. Within 2 weeks, he had stronger morning erections, more spontaneous desire, and best of all, the feeling that his body was finally responding again. He told me, "It's like something clicked, like my system had been rebooted." If you've felt disconnected from your physical self, or if performance anxiety has started creeping in, pistachios could be the quiet solution you've overlooked. They're affordable, easy to find, and surprisingly powerful. But what if I told you there's one more nut that not only helps with blood flow or the strength of erections, but actually supports your hormone levels from the inside out? This one is a game changer for testosterone, energy, and even prostate health. This next nut could be the most important of all. Nut number 3, Brazil nuts, the hormone restorer. Let me tell you about Gary. He was 66 years old, sharp-minded, active, and still very much in love with his wife, but something wasn't right. He said, "I don't feel like myself. My energy isn't there. I'm not as interested in sex. It's like my body is slowing down." Even though he was doing all the right things, walking daily, eating clean, something deeper was out of balance. That's when I asked him about selenium. He looked confused, like most men do. He had never heard of it. That's where Brazil nuts come in. These aren't an everyday snack. Brazil nuts are loaded with selenium, one of the most powerful yet overlooked minerals for men's health. Just 1 or 2 a day can dramatically support testosterone production, improve sperm health, and even protect the prostate. The problem is that selenium isn't something your body produces. It completely depends on what you eat. And as you age, it becomes more critical. When Gary started eating just 1 Brazil nut every morning, things began to change. Slowly at first, better mood, less brain fog, more drive. But by the end of the first month, he noticed something else. His libido was back. He wasn't forcing it. It was natural, as if his body had been waiting for permission to feel like a man again. The beauty of Brazil nuts is their simplicity. You don't need handfuls. In fact, too many can do more harm than good. But that single nut a day becomes a sort of hormonal insurance, keeping your testosterone in check, your energy stable, and your performance ready. If you felt like your spark is fading, that you're tired for no reason, or that your desire simply isn't there, this nut could be the quiet reset your body has been waiting for. What happens when you combine these 3 nuts? So, what happens when you combine these 3 nuts: walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts, into a simple daily routine? The answer might surprise you, because it's not just about the nutrients. They actually work together in a way that amplifies their individual benefits. Let's explore why that combination matters more than most men realize. If you're still watching and finding this information valuable, write a 1 in the comments to let me know you're here and engaged. Now, let's move on and explore point number 4. This is where things really start to come together. Point 4. Why these 3 nuts work better together. One thing I've learned after decades of working with men is this: the body doesn't heal in isolation. It thrives in synergy, with the right pieces working together, not just separately. And that's exactly what happens when you incorporate walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts into a daily routine. Each nut on its own offers incredible benefits, but when combined, they do something remarkable. They support and amplify each other in a way your body truly feels. Let me share a story that stuck with me. A patient named Dan, who was 71 years old, had tried each nut at different times over the years, but without much consistency. He'd eat pistachios for a while, then forget about them. A few months later, he'd read about walnuts and try those. It was always hit or miss. He came to me saying, "Doctor, I've tried all this, but I don't feel different." So I asked him to try something different, not just to eat the nuts, but to commit to all 3 together every day for 21 days. What happened after those 3 weeks was incredible. Dan came back and said, "I don't know what's going on, but I have more energy in the mornings. I feel lighter, and my wife noticed I'm more present." That last word stuck with me, presence, because that's what this combination gives you. Not just physical improvements, but a renewed sense of being fully alive in your body again. The walnut supports blood flow, opening the pathways that keep your heart, brain, and erections strong. The pistachio builds on that foundation, enhancing the quality and duration of erections. And the Brazil nut quietly restores your hormonal engine, giving you the edge from the inside out. It's a full circle approach that addresses the three most common challenges men face after 60: circulation, performance, and drive. And here's the best part: this doesn't require major changes in your life. It's a daily 5-minute habit with powerful returns. But of course, even the best plan can be sabotaged by a common mistake. This is something I see far too often, and it could cancel out all your progress without you realizing it. Let me show you what it is and how to avoid it. Point 5. The mistake most men make. One of the hardest parts of my job isn't diagnosing problems. It's helping men see that they've quietly given up, not in a dramatic way, not all at once, but slowly. Over time, it usually starts with a shrug, a little less energy, a little less drive, maybe some awkward moments in the bedroom. And instead of questioning why or seeking solutions, most men ignore it, thinking, "I guess this is just part of getting older." That mindset, that quiet resignation, is the biggest mistake I see. It's not what your body is doing that hurts you the most. It's what you're no longer doing in response. Waiting, ignoring, assuming nothing will change. That's what slowly robs you of your vitality, not age itself. I remember talking to a man named Bill. He was 69 years old, retired, and still full of humor. But there was a heaviness when he said, "I just thought this was my new normal." And that broke my heart because I knew it wasn't true. Bill didn't need a miracle. He didn't need to turn back the clock 30 years. He just needed a small change in how he approached his health, a willingness to stop writing himself off. So I encouraged him to do one simple thing. Start with the nuts. Get back to walking. Begin believing that progress was still possible. And within a few weeks, the man who thought he was fading began to feel like himself again, more alert, more alive, and deeply connected to his body. The mistake isn't in aging. The mistake is in assuming that aging means giving up. If you remain curious, take action, and give your body what it needs to function as it was designed, that brings us to the final piece of this journey, the one that makes it easy to take everything you've learned and turn it into a simple, sustainable, daily habit. No confusion, no guesswork, just a clear path you can follow every day to feel stronger, more energized, and completely alive again. Point 6. Your daily vitality routine. I've had so many men come to me overwhelmed by all the health advice out there, supplements piled on their kitchen counters, half-read books, tips from friends, doctors, the internet, all pulling them in different directions. And I always tell them the same thing: lasting change doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing the right things consistently. That's why I designed this daily routine to be simple, sustainable, and deeply effective. It doesn't require a gym membership, a complicated meal plan, or a dozen pills, just a few intentional choices made every day that work together to rebuild what age has tried to wear down. Here's what I recommend. In the morning, start with one Brazil nut. Just one. It's small, easy to remember, and delivers a powerful dose of selenium to support your testosterone and protect your prostate. Many of my patients keep a small jar in their bathroom, one nut right after brushing their teeth. No excuses, no forgetting. At noon, grab a handful of unsalted pistachios, especially if you've felt a dip in energy in the afternoon. They'll help stabilize your blood sugar, improve circulation, and give your body the nutrients it needs to boost the strength and endurance of erections. Plus, they make a great snack. At night, about an hour before bed, have a small handful of walnuts. This not only supports blood flow repair overnight, but also calms inflammation and helps prepare your body for rest and recovery. Think of it as fuel for your body while you sleep. That's it. 3 small steps repeated daily. Yet I've seen these simple choices radically change the lives of men who thought their best days were behind them. They gained energy, confidence, and intimacy, not by chasing perfection but by honoring their bodies with the right fuel at the right time. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something even more important, a message that goes beyond nutrition or routine. Because behind every physical transformation is a mental one. And what I'm about to share in these final moments could be the belief shift that changes how you live the rest of your life. Conclusion: if you've made it this far, I want to take a moment to speak to you not as a doctor behind a desk, but as someone who has listened to hundreds of men like you, men who felt their strength fading, their energy dwindling, and their confidence quietly slipping away. Men who have loved deeply, worked hard, provided for others, and suddenly found themselves asking, "What about me? Where did I go?" That question is more common than you think, and it's not a weakness to ask it. It's a sign that you still care, that you still want to feel alive, desired, strong. And the truth is, you can. Now you've learned about 3 simple yet powerful foods: walnuts to open your blood flow and keep your circulation strong, pistachios to restore power to your performance and support natural, lasting erections, and Brazil nuts to quietly restore your hormonal balance and protect your prostate. With nothing more than a small daily dose, each has the capacity to make a difference. But together, they work in harmony, supporting your heart, your hormones, and your manhood. That's not an exaggeration. It's biology. It's how the body works when we stop fighting against it and start nourishing it as nature intended. The key now is consistency. 1 Brazil nut in the morning, a handful of pistachios at noon, a few walnuts before bed. They're not just snacks, they're statements. They say, "I'm not done yet. I have more to give, and I deserve to feel strong in my body." Because true transformation isn't just in how you feel physically, it's in how you begin to carry yourself again, more upright, more engaged, more connected to the people you love. I've seen it happen too many times to doubt it. I've seen the spark return, the shoulders lift, the smile come back, the relationships deepen, not because of some magic cure, but because a man chose to believe his life wasn't over just because a calendar said he was over 60. If today's message sparks something in you, if even a part of this spoke to that quiet part of you that's been silent for too long, I invite you to start. Start today, small, consistent steps. Nourish your body, reclaim your strength, and remind yourself and the world that your best years aren't behind you, they've just begun. You still have time. You still have power. You still have a man worth fighting for. Let's keep it strong. If this video helped you in any way, if it gave you hope, clarity, or even just a reminder that your health still matters, I would really appreciate it if you took a moment to like this video. It lets the platform know that this content is valuable and helps more men over 60 find the guidance they deserve. If you know someone who could benefit from this, maybe a friend, a brother, or a father, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. You never know who you could impact just by passing this along. I'd also love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share what stood out to you, what you plan to try, or even just write, "I'm starting today," so I know you're taking that important first step. Your comments and stories keep this mission alive. If you want to help this channel continue providing top quality content focused on men's health over 60, you can contribute a small donation using the link below. Every little bit helps us support more men with honest advice, practical tools, and the motivation to feel their best. Thank you for watching and for taking charge of your health. Your action today matters.